Hello, everybody. It's Anime Sickos, the podcast for geniuses. The podcast about the four pillars of modern misery: anime, gaming, posting, and jobs. I am Joe, an anime sicko. And if you've listened to this podcast before, you're probably like, holy fuck, why is the wrong person talking? The reason is, I was talking to Tom last night, and he was just like, I really like where the show's going. I feel like there's a lot of momentum. There's some very fun things developing creatively that we're excited about. And that's why, Joe, I think we need to move on, and you can't talk about roguelikes anymore. So he's dead, and he's gone. And I brought in Riley, who knows the rules. Riley?
Yes. Hello. I love roguelikes. They're the best ever. I'd love to talk about them today.
Yeah, it's great. The real reason is we did a sort of a wife swap situation.
That's how I described it too.
Yeah. Riley, who has been on Sickos previously, and a wonderful Guesto app where we covered a lot. You pitched us, I think most famously, like the appeal of all of the goofy Power Rangers shit, that there is a lot of content here that I think still do think it's just a bunch of guys in suits shooting sparks, but you did a very nice job of showing like here's the magic. Because
I remember that episode as I had to listen to my friends talk about JoJo.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. We gave and we gave. Everyone got a little bit out of that.
Yeah. So this is going to be an interesting episode. I know we have the sort of ongoing theme that Tom does the planning and I'm the wild card. But the fact of the matter is, Riley, the front of your brain doesn't work.
Yeah. It's fucking nothing. I at some point earlier this year accepted I'm stupid, and it has been freeing to just be like, whenever somebody at work is like, oh, Riley, like, why are you looking for that for so long? I'm like, oh, I'm stupid. And they go, oh.
It's nice because the concern is like, oh, is he looking at this because there's an element I haven't considered? No. And I need to help? No, it's just like, just give me more time.
I need more time than you because I'm dumb as shit. And Joe, I'm sitting here. Speaking of things that are dumb as shit, because I need to get into this, actually, because it's still on my fucking screen. Mm-hmm. Most podcasts I know synchronize their watches, so to speak, synchronize their tracks with time.is, and I'm sitting here looking at time.gov.
Yeah, time.gov. Well, first of all, these are your tax dollars at work.
Yeah, listener, in front of me is a map of the United States with the 4 time zones projected onto them. And the time zones are fucked.
Yeah, this is wonderful because every time someone sees the truth laid out in front of them, you realize that like we have imposed order on something that has no order.
Why does Gary, Indiana, get to be in Central, but the rest of Indiana doesn't? Like, it doesn't even follow state lines. It's just like a little bit out. Fucking Eastern time comes like north of Chicago. If you drive north enough, you'll get out of Central and into Eastern.
I don't think a lot of people outside of like the Chicagoland area understand that like Northwest Indiana being part of Chicago is not like just because you're close to it. They carve out the time so you are one with them.
Yeah, we have assimilated Northwest Indiana. And then there's the fucking Arizona Autonomous Zone down here. Why are there lines?
That I don't know what that means. That's Fallout stuff.
Arizona Mountain Standard Time. They just, because part of Arizona just threw out daylight savings time. They just said, we don't have to do this.
That's nice for them.
They're free. The whole page just automatically refreshed. This is a nightmare, dude.
Yeah, it's a bit of information overload because it shows you the clocks. It shows you every clock that's ever been made, and yeah, but UTC is what we use.
They're all ticking at the same time. I have like a bit of a headache looking at it. I'm minimizing it. I can't fuck with this anymore.
Sicko mode, sicko mode, sicko mode. Sicko mode, sicko mode, sicko mode. Sicko mode, sicko mode, sicko mode. Sicko mode, sicko mode, sicko mode.
Riley, I'm looking at this document, and you have 2 words in here that make my brain light up sometimes, and it's the word city builders.
Ah, yes. City builders fucking rule, dude.
This is, so we're firmly in the gaming pillar here. When we're talking city builders, are you talking Civ? Or that's more 4X?
No,
You're talking about
that's
managing...
not a city.
You're talking about logistics of managing a town and its goods and its production of its little goods, right?
I'm talking about city skylines and all of the DLCs. And then getting like a little sideways into like, as we're talking about like logistics and shit, playing stuff like Dyson Sphere Program, which isn't a city builder, but it is like a logistics builder.
So I want to hear more about that, because I'm finding, I don't know if this is just something I'm noticing as I get older and I realize deep down I just want to be a train guy, but I love thinking and seeing all like the logistics and the paths and converging of stuff like that.
Oh.
That's what gaming's all about. So tell me, what city builder has gripped your brain recently?
So I'm going to so I've been playing 2. One is a game called Foundations, I believe. I'm looking through my library. Yeah, Foundation. And that's like an old, like a fucking old people middle, what do they call it? Dark Ages, castles and shit. It's that. You can't.
You opened with old people.
Yeah, it's old, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, I thought it was like
the 70s.
A colony simulation. Like, I thought it was like a Cocoon game.
No, I just couldn't think of the word Middle Ages because I kept going Middle Earth, Middle Earth, Middle Earth, fantasy. And it's not. It's just like castles and shit. But you can't place roads. You do not get to line up the roads. The roads are the person walking from one place to another, and then that path gets slowly worn in the ground. Which is freeing. Because, Joe, I don't know if you're like me, and you're like, well, obviously, a clown sitting at their desk, am going to figure out how to do traffic correctly. Like, I spend so long on roads, dude.
I have seen what city skylines can do for the traffic management, and that has actually kind of stopped me from ever wanting to play the game, because it looks so hostile to human life and interest. So the road part where you're like building grids and infrastructure is the part when I'm playing these games. I sort of have this loop where I have a plan, and then I realize every choice I've made was wrong, and I try to like course correct too hard while like not maintaining momentum, and I just fuck it all up. And roads are often a source of that fuck up.
You hit that point, right? And there's the 2 ways. The one way is that it's like, well, I guess I'm done with this save, and the other way is I will learn traffic management. And so I type in how to traffic, and then the next one is city skylines. It's like, okay, cool. And you click that, and it's taking you through like, hey, when you draw the big square and then you draw like 3 roads in the middle of it, that's not good. That's bad for traffic. Because think about all those little stoplights that you've just created.
I think the perfect level of complexity was the classic SimCity, where the game was you did 3x3 blocks and you drew a road around them.
But when you unlock this next level, when you push through and get to like, okay, where are my congestion points? What the problem is? Then suddenly like you become unlocked. Because like in my city, you do a big rectangle around a neighborhood. You have a one road going down the middle that's 1 lane smaller. Then you have like a lot of like little cul-de-sacs and shit in that little area. I'm making little suburbs. And then on top of all of that, it leads to a highway that's a roundabout. You know how highways go straight? Nuh-uh, not anymore. There are these elevated circular roads that go to nowhere, and you hop on and you drive in a big circle till you want to exit and go off in a different direction. It is like a big spider looms over my city, and it works pretty well.
So even in this game where imagination is the limit, you are still forced to like crush your cities under horrible spiraling interstate systems.
Except now, instead of like looking to your left and seeing the interstate, you look up and see that your house is under the interstate as it stretches towards the horizon line.
So Foundation removes this. There is no worrying about roads because it's all done by people dragging their feet across the earth.
It is just done as God intended, walking from the shortest distance from your house to your job and back again. And so, like, you do get, like, paths that are worn in, because then people are like, oh, shit, it's a path, and we're more likely to take the path and shit. And that rules. Because, like, then I'm like, all right, so I'll put some houses over here, I'll put some houses over here. And you don't get to place the houses, but you get to place, like, residential zones. And then people will be like, it's too far from where I live, I'll just sleep here on the floor. By the coast, and you're like, okay, well, I guess I gotta build another residential zone over there. And it's just you just do that. You just slowly expand and go like, all right, here's a farm, here's some fucking fishers, here's where I'm storing all the food, and it's all just about the distance and time it takes to walk from point A to point B and then back again. Like, it's like so simple. It gets rid of all the hubbub of like ironing out all the kinks. You know what I mean?
I like exactly what I'm hearing, and my next question is kind of important for, I guess, my ability to pick up into it. Is there like a sort of manufacturing chain of goods? Like, are you turning base goods into maybe tables or like nice things that you can put in people's houses? Like, what's the deal there?
Are you turning wheat into flour, into bread, and then selling that bread either to the people in your town or exporting it? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Do you have to hire somebody to go look at a rock and go like, yeah, that's marble, before you can mine it? Absolutely. There are these nasty little loops that'll keep moving, and then you hit a point where you're like, I don't have any tools. I don't have a guy that makes tools. And so you have to import all your tools. That way you can get tools to build everything else.
So this sounds like Banished, which is a game I lost many hours into, which I guess I would say it would be medieval ages, but the sort of premise is that you have 12 people, you are quote-unquote banished, and you're in the middle of the woods, and you have to basically start a town or whatever. And sort of like the higher level complexity that really makes me lose time is, as you mentioned, eventually once you have like a community that needs specialists, then the logistics and distribution of tools becomes important.
I'm looking at Banished right now, and it does say it's in my library, and I have apparently put 6 hours into it. So yes, it's like imagine this, but like less. This is on that grid, right? This is like I've cleanly marked out where these things are. Foundation is just like shit fucking everywhere because there's no grid. So it has that like feeling of just like, I don't know, I found a spot and I put a cheese factory here.
That's what I like. I know this isn't a city builder, but the game Raft, it's the normal survival crafting shit, but the sort of slapdash aspect of everything, like you're just slapping things onto a bunch of floating wood, and the emphasis isn't so much on like making it look incredible. I found that freeing.
Wow, holy shit, I've never actually looked at Raft. I didn't know you can make big like superstructures.
It's funny because like, oh, you're stuck stranded on a raft, but like if there's no physics in the sense that if you made a giant tower that was a floating forest, it would be fine.
Oh fuck, I love survival games. Do you fuck with survival games often?
I go through phases. Can I be honest? What triggers this phase? Will you?
This is judgment-free zone.
Okay. Usually, what kicks off a sort of interest in survival games is I realize I don't know how to do anything. Like, I'm just like, if I was stuck in the woods, I'm fucking dead.
That's it. It's curtains.
It's done. And then I think I should learn skills, right? And then instead I go to Steam and I look at survival, and and I sort of convinced myself that like what I'm doing isn't playing a game. It's like it's 80% a game, but like it's 20% learning.
Yeah, you will retain a little bit of knowledge and then be able to apply that later. That's learning, baby. That's what they call it.
The problem is currently the one I am playing is about being in Valhalla and like...
Oh, Valheim!
Yeah, so I'm not learning too much applicable stuff.
But you ought to learn how to fuck up a big deer with a bunch of arrows at a distance.
What draws you to survival games, and more importantly, like, is the want always there, or is it like a mood thing?
It is like, I have always been envious of PC gamers who are like, I just play the one game and then I'm done. You know, like you always like those fuckers who play Counter-Strike or some shit and are just like, yeah, I've completed it. I'm like, I just play this all the time. Because that sounds freeing to like not be staring at a library of 500 games and going like, there's nothing here. There's nothing here for me. They stopped making games. There's no more of them. I've completed. I'm at the top of the hill.
I'm jealous of those people because... Look, there's a guy in Kengan Ashura, the manga we don't shut up about, who's just like, I am the beard, I practice punching, and I will only punch, and my punch will be perfect. And that's what the Counter-Strike people are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they become the like peek around corners and shoot people, and I'm so happy for them. But the thing is, like, I want that for me, and so like survival games, I look at it and I go, oh, this is forever. I can just keep doing this because I have to keep surviving. Like, and so I download it and I play it for like 8 hours and I'm like, all right, I've survived. Or like you hit that jump between like steel and mystical iron or some shit, right? Where it's just like, you're locked right now, you can't do anything. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm done then. I don't want to grind. And I think that's what keeps me away from being able to do those forever games, is because I don't give a shit about grinding.
Well, here's where I think the real question is. We brought up city builders and now survival games. Riley, when do you stop playing these games? Tell me just kind of what happens at a survival game when you jump ship. And I'm gonna go on a limb here. I'm gonna ask you that about city builders, and I think there might be some overlap.
Yeah, so the reason I stopped playing Valheim is because we took a boat, we sailed out real far, we were like, oh, what's this thing called the plains? And then we lost all of our shit to some mosquitoes, and I said, I don't like to lose, I'm done now. When the game says you've reached a fail state, I'm like, no, I haven't, I quit, and I walk away. City Skylines, when you get that sweeping wall of death that comes every once in a while, which if you haven't played City Skylines, maybe you don't know about rolling death.
Is that a disaster or like a bug?
No, that's a feature. That is when everyone came to your city at one time, and then you stop kind of getting more people in, so everyone grows old and dies at the same time, and so it's just all of a sudden just like death. There's little skulls everywhere. Your cemeteries are full because everyone reached 90 at the same exact time. You stop death waves by like planning your expansion better. But like fail states like that, I don't like to lose, which is why I'm not a Dark Souls Bloodborne guy. I lose twice and I'm like, all right, that's enough for me.
My issue is that my tolerance for being punished by a game, it varies too much. There are days where I am like a straight up pain piggy, and those are the days where I'll play a survival game. But Tom has explained the process of Sekiro and beating it, and I know that if I wasn't into it on that day, and like the first time I get stabbed in like the foot wrong, I'll just like, I'm done.
Well, see, they made a Sekiro for babies, and it's Jedi Fallen Order, and it was great. Like, I loved that shit. Because you put a little Star Wars coat of paint on it. I have to do some parries. Oh, look at me. I'm nice and cool. And boom, that's it. I don't need the very hard version of it. I've got a little silly guy right here. Like, for every super hard game, there's an easy version. And I will just play the easy version.
Does it always have a lightsaber, is the question.
Yeah, I can. Every game can have just a Star Wars coat of paint on it. I'll play. The amount of Star Wars mods on my fucking computer, dude.
So, The reason I eventually abandoned city builders and the survival games is there's always a jump in complexity. There's like a new resource tier, and I tap out. Like I have enough like memory to be like, hey, this is fine. I'm fine with this level of complexity. That's cool. And then, for instance, Satisfactory, which is like a first-person Factorio game, kind of. I was enjoying that. I was enjoying building little conveyor belts where I made rocks become like shinier rocks. And then it's just like, hey, now you need to have these autonomous trucks that need to deliver the coal between these points. And all the dopamine drained out because it stopped being a fun thing I could juggle, and now it was work.
So those kind of games specifically, those like management games, I've been playing Dyson Sphere Project, which is so it is like one of those Factorio, like a fucking like I'm making little conveyor belt shit where you start like turning the ore into steel, and then that steel gets turned into fucking computer chips and some shit. Yada 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 yada. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's one of those games that like I stay up till 4 a.m. playing because you hit like the groove, and you know what, like this the groove of like it's all coming together, baby. It's like this is it, like we got it. And
the groove hits usually as you become dehydrated.
Yeah, as your eyes sink into your skull, and you are nothing but light little clicks. It's in Satisfactory, all that. You know how it's just one planet that you're on?
Usually I think that's fine. I think I don't need to do more than that.
You think that. But imagine Dyson Sphere Project, you are a guy who lands on a planet in like a little robot suit. And you start mining that planet for its resources and all that. And it's a mess. And then you get like stronger rocket boots, and it's like, okay, cool, you can take off now. And you lift up and you point yourself at another planet and you just whoosh over to it. And you have to fly. It's like 3 minutes to fly through the vastness of space to this other planet, which feels like an eternity. And you land there. Look at all these new resources. And then you can do that for the entire solar system, because the goal of Dyson Sphere Project is to build a big generator around the sun. Like just a big solar panel that goes around the entire sun to power everything.
So every planet is just a component panel, basically?
Yes. So right now, in that game, I have a moon that has like no resources. So I was like, cool. I can just like turn this whole fucking thing into a factory. So other planets, other things will like land their ships here and export their goods into these bigger containers, because I have like this huge storage hemisphere of the planet, and then all the little conveyor belts come out and they all start building into like whatever I fucking need, and then they'll export the more complicated things so I can keep all the other planets pretty.
Yeah. This looks exactly like I will enjoy the roller coaster that I have every time, which is I'm going to lose a bunch of time, and then I will be disgusted.
Yep. This one is so much fun. It's actually the game that broke my computer. My graphics card like stopped working while playing it, and I blame this game, and that's why I haven't gone back to it. But it's so fucking good. It's just a blast to play.
So I've messed with Factorio. I'll admit it. My issue with that is you have to cover every square inch of everything with a conveyor belt or railway. What I'm seeing now for the Dyson Sphere, it seems like because you're using a bunch of planets, you don't have to cover everything with roads and shit. Is this true?
Yep. Because see, I have that planet that is fucked up and just a whole factory, and I get to land on my beautiful water world, my beautiful lava world, and I just get to be like, cool, boop 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 boop, we're set up here. You have the big towers for like the where the spaceships land to bring in the shit, and that's it. And then you can do whatever you want on those worlds, keep it pretty. The other thing is, you know how you can see in the store image there that has that big ring, you know how you get that into space? You build a big gun. No, you build a big gun, and it just shoots And so like as you're building it, you just have these 2 turrets that you can build. They go bop 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 like a rail gun through space into orbit around the sun, and it's sick. And then like those little satellites start to pick up power and send power to everywhere else, and that rules. But then they'll start to degrade and fall into the sun. That's why you have to shoot the big metal up there. It rules, dude. The scale of it is what I like so much, because you're still just a guy with a big jetpack that can propel you from one thing of space to the other. And if you miss a planet, you just miss a planet. And you're like, uh-oh, you have to like turn around because you have the momentum of space and a limited amount of fuel.
So the end goal here is to make a giant solar panel. So basically you would get completely clean energy, like for an entire solar system. Is that the goal?
Yes, by salvaging each of the planets that lie within it. But yes.
And then you turn that into a Bitcoin.
Yes. There's another star system slightly to the left that you can actually see in some of these pictures, and then you fly over there and do the same thing.
Cog talk. Cog talk.
So the pandemic like isn't over, but like we were just saying it is, right?
Yeah. We're all done caring about other people. We're all done, being safe. And now it's time to go yell at retail workers.
There's still like 1,000 people dying every day, but the important thing is you get out there and shop. So, Riley, as I have talked in the show, I lived in Hell Tower for a while. And the thing is, while I was experiencing Hell Tower, you were actually not terribly far away for purpose of employment, because you were working during the pandemic at I wouldn't even call it a pet store. I would say it's a pet boutique. Would you agree?
Yeah. It's a pet boutique within eyeshot of Hell Tower. A tower that I would look at with my wife on walks and go, damn, that thing's pretty big. Like every time it sticks out.
Yeah, every time you looked and saw that, the devil was torturing me. He turned up the volume and the construction around me a little louder. So... Look, we've established this theme on the show. It's that the pandemic has unfortunately divided workers into 2 categories, which is you have the laptop cog jobs that you do spreadsheets from relative safety where the virus doesn't touch you. And then there is the meat class where you are on the front lines. And the thing is, front lines is usually used to talk about like doctors and nurses.
The important people.
But the front lines run through pet boutiques.
The amount of like weirdo pressure on like retail workers is so stressful, man. Like just anyone out there working retail, it's a hellscape. And like I know I know that like working at the boutique is its own special unique hell, and everyone who's out there working retail has their own special version of the hell I'm about to describe to you. But I feel like I need to talk about it anyway.
Yeah, and, this is not a hospital, people puking on you, but you also have a different sort of clientele with the boutique, which, like, causes psychic damage, I'm sure.
Oh, buddy. So let me start off and say it's like a small store, right? There's, like, 6 employees total over 2 stores. Only one of us is working at a time. I went without a coworker for a year and a half, sitting in the store. We didn't get those fun little plastic shields or nothing.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, because I brought it up, and my boss was like, well, how do we install one of those? And I was like, that one was kind of on you to figure it out. Like, I figured you could do that. We could do that. We just like some wood or something. Like no, okay.
They make clamps.
Yeah, bro. So
there's also a hardware store very close.
Yeah, just down the street to the fucking True Value or whatever the fuck. That's already one axis of suffering. The second, so 3 customers in the store at all times, because my manager is immunocompromised, and so the entire time he was like, then my bosses, the 2 people who own the store, would be like, hey, do you want to? What if we let more people in? And me and my manager would go, What if you didn't do that? What if we did not actually? We're fine at 3. We're fine. Lock that at 3.
What if... That's a bad proposition, because it's like, what if your shit gets worse? In return, you get nothing.
What if it got a little bit more hectic? What if you had to keep an eye on 5 people instead of 3? Because you still get people who come in with mask on and then like take it off to look at a sweater for some reason. The fascination with people of like, I'm doing a thing that doesn't require my mouth, I better take off my mask. Like, I don't get what the fucking thought process is there. Because every time it's like, oh, I need to look at this leash closer. Oh, I need to ask you a question and you didn't hear me. Oh, I need to like fucking unlock my phone with my face shit. I'm like, just learn your passcode. Just learn your passcode at this point.
Man, I didn't even consider that. So you had to watch everyone unlock like. Oh, that's good stuff. That's
just
good
like
stuff.
They pull down their mask and hold it there, and then go pull it up, and then they're like, "Oh, I hope these things learn to figure out who you are when you have a mask on." And I was like, "I don't." That would be bad. if a fucking thing could read what your face is under a mask.
Yeah. If that happens, we're done.
I had the other thing mixed in is I'm like the only leftist anyone in this fucking neighborhood knows. And so like I throughout the entire pandemic would have my have people come to me and be like, Riley, what do you think of this? And I'd be like, I think it sucks. I think it's bad. Like, because like specifically with that mask reference, there is someone who was like, well, only criminals like would wear a mask, like don't break a law. And I'm like, so there are good reasons to break laws. You know that, right? Like, you need to confront that.
Like, why do you love rules so like inherently? Because when someone frames it like that, the entire thing isn't law and order. It's just like there was a rule to follow and it did not occur.
Yo, this lady that I'm describing right now, like, just lost her fucking shit at me. Because she would be like, aren't you happy that Biden won? I'm like, I mean, I'm like, not sad. Like, it's that's a complicated thing that you've posed to me there.
The way I now feel about electoral stuff, and I have for a while, but I guess I'm just being honest with myself, is like I don't expect much from Dems, but it's like if there's a Dem in a location of power, then that's not a ghoul isn't there, I guess. Like it's a ghoul light.
Yeah, it's just ghoul high life sitting over there in an unchilled glass. And I'm like, but like, so every day I would get to have these conversations with people, which is a nightmare of just like what do you think about like in July of last year when everyone decided like, I want to talk to the person who works at the pet boutique about police. And I'd be like, I don't think you do.
Don't these people know about games? Like, you can game.
You can do anything else.
Like, they're clearly at home because they left their home to bother you.
Mm-hmm. So many people will be like, oh yeah, I just came out. I didn't really need to get anything. I just want to look around. I'm like, you can't look around right now. You gotta go. You gotta go. You can't. You absolutely cannot look around right now. They were like, oh, but I want to browse. Like, I don't care. People are dying, bro. Like, you need to leave.
I think the pandemic has also forced us to reckon with this cultural thing that has existed forever, and I've noticed it even when I worked, at like a Kohl's in college. It's just that like a customer is allowed to loiter forever, basically. Like there's no such thing as a loitering customer.
Yep, it is like they just get to stand there and take up space. And then sometimes, even worse, they take up your fucking brain power. Because they just, like, will pepper you with incessant questions. Which is why, like, leaving the pet boutique and now working at, like, a financial institution has been great. Because now I can just tell people no. Because they can't be like, they'll be like, can I deposit this check for $300,000 and cash it immediately? And I'll be like, no.
No, but I want to friggin' rob you.
Yeah, that's the second thing when someone's like, can I withdraw your yearly salary? And I'm like, yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like just counting it. But I have like a sense of agency enough. I have like, there's enough in place that I can just tell someone you can't do that. And if you want to do that, you're going to have to come back another day.
Right. Because you're fundamentally backed up by like whatever the financial laws that govern this country, as fake as they are more real than a pet boutique manager who's like, yeah, can we have more people in the store?
Yeah, and the worst part is like February, January last year, me and my manager, high life, baby. It was chill as fuck. We were both taking 2-hour breaks. We were ordering growlers at the going to pick them up and just drinking. We were getting Lou Malnati's every day. We were having a fucking. It was an adventure. It was like the peak retail experience where you've got someone chill in charge, and they're like enough in charge to be chill and not enough in charge to like, all right, well, we really should strap this fucker down. It's like, nah, let's go to Dry Hop. Let's get some booze. Let's order some pizza. Let's hang out. And then we'll get paid while we're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. And all because people need to buy expensive dog leashes.
Yes. They fucking, they took that shit from me. And then the maneuver of like, you see this a lot, where the people don't come in without a mask. And then they're like, well, clearly I have a substitute available. Oh, I'll hold my fucking shirt over my nose like I'm a kid who's like with chapped lips. You know what I mean? Like you'll see that. You'll see like can I hold my sleeves up high like I'm trying to fucking hide? No, none of this will work. It has been a year. Well, I can't breathe with my mask on. It's been a year and a half. Like people who run marathons condition for like 3 months or some shit, right? Like you should have been wearing this fucking mask the entire time.
People condition at high altitude where there's no air.
Exactly. I don't fucking get it, man. And now people are just like, well, I'm vaccinated. Like, I don't know you from shit, dude. Like, I don't know you. No, as far as I'm concerned, you're not.
In addition to having to deal with irate customers and people who like just don't care that they're doing biological warfare at you, there is this sort of weird responsibility on retail workers with a lot of this, which is like, in addition to working, you have to make sure all of these customers with insane death drives don't make good on their promise to their death drive. Like you're constantly like, it's sort of like you're stopping them from poking a socket all the time.
Yeah, it's exactly that. It's just a motherfucker who wants so badly to die and kill others that like, and you can't let them because they help fund the store with their like $400 of dog treats. And you're like, all right, yeah, okay.
It sucks, and obviously like your salary does not represent the value you bring to that, but if that person's dog, which has a better life than us, like was no longer a customer, that would impact you financially.
Yep. I talked to Andrew about this, and I think it has I think it shows here. I think it has a use here. During this pandemic, while working completely alone and only seeing customers for 6 hours a day, I came up with a customer ranking system.
Yeah, okay. Gimme.
So, you know, in Mass Effect, there's like the Paragon, Renegade, like there's the two sides, right?
The two signs. If I've not played these games, but the two sides are actually like, I love rules, I'm a dick.
Yeah. So that's kind of where we are, except it's just one side is like, this is a good, like, it's good side, bad side, and the perfect customer is a 0. They are naught but footprints on your mind. They leave nothing. They leave no trace. They ask nothing of you. They get in. They get out. There's nothing. That's the dream. It's just someone who doesn't leave an impact on your day.
They're like a roller coaster tycoon person. Like they walk in with their goal, give you the money, and don't interact.
Yep, it's a fucking dream. Like, at a 10, that's somebody I know. That's somebody that, like, we have a rapport. Oh, how are the kids and shit? You know what I mean? 40 is, like, someone I genuinely enjoy seeing. 100 is my wife. Now, there's the negative side of things. Where, like, -5 is, like, you asked me a stupid-ass question. -15 is you demanded me a stupid question. -40 is, like, you've actively made my day a hindrance. And it goes down that way. And so I was talking to my wife about this, and she's like, well, we should track that data, because why not? So I've sent you a link to a spreadsheet, the customer experience.
Oh, shit.
And for a week in because I am still the spreadsheet sicko. For a week in the middle of the pandemic, I just texted her a number every time a customer came into the store.
Oh, this is thorough.
I have since tweeted this out. Like, you'll see a little graph of how my day went, because then I averaged out everything. And this is what...
Zero is bliss. 0 is you are undisturbed.
0 is amazing. And here's the saddest part is zeros can't do anything against a bad experience. They will not fix the day for you. They will simply, like, slowly eke it back, but they can never get you all the way there. You need, like, a good experience to outweigh 3 bad experiences, but you still need that foundation of a lot of people who just got in and got the fuck out.
I see these notes. Can I just...
Go.
Can I call out some points of interest here? June 16, 2020, we see a whopping -60. And I'm seeing... the cell, I can't read it all. It says, did not leave when... And is the next word asked?
Yeah, did not leave would hold, we are closing in 2 minutes. It's a motherfucker who's like, oh, yeah, okay, I'll hurry. And then they don't. They're like, it's essential that I get a dog sweater right now in the middle of June. It drives me at the fucking wall. Because you'll see on the other side over here, on June 10th, you'll see came in at 6, but was quick. I respect that. I respect you getting in and out, realizing, oh shit, I need this thing. Bop, bop, bop. You speed out. That's fine. That's fine. I will bend a little bit to try to help somebody, just because I do like to help people.
Like, you bought stuff at a store that was closing. You go in there with the SEAL Team 6 mentality, right? Like, that's how you get in and you extract, and you are nothing but a perfect gentleman the whole time.
You compromise to a permanent degree whatever dog food you need. But
yeah.
Some of these fuckers are like, can I try on some dog boots right now? And I had to just say, yes, you can. Like, I turn off the music. I, like, start standing there, just, like, sitting. I do my best to make the place as unwelcome as possible. To just be like, you need to fucking go, bro.
But the thing is, people actually aren't very good at picking up on any of that. You could turn off all the music and change it to just your voice saying you need to go while haunted house noises play, and like it wouldn't come through.
No, it wouldn't process in their fucking heads because they cannot think about that. They do not recognize. If you are not a person who has empathy, you do not recognize that you are an active problem in a retail worker's life.
Can I read another point of interest? June 21st, 2020. Yes. So Amy stole, and that only gave her a -80 as opposed to a full 100.
I have a nemesis, or I had a nemesis. There's a woman in that neighborhood named Amy, last name. I'm leaving that out. If you live in the Lakeview East area, you know. Like, she has a shit-eating Pomeranian who I hate with all my fucking heart. I know you're not supposed to hate dogs, so it's not their fault. I hate this fucking dog. I hate this fucking person. She doesn't walk her dog with a leash. It's a little Pomeranian running out and around. She storms into places. She hugs people. She's really touchy. She's really loud. She's very obnoxious. She demands special treatment. I don't know how she finagled this. She somehow got a tab at the store, so she'd just walk in, she would get a bully stick and then show it to you and be like, I'm leaving, and
like an old Western grocer.
And and my bosses hate her because, like, also she'd come in and just like sexually harass my manager, and like I told, like, when I started working there, I was like, hey, I think she's harassing you, and he would be like, oh shit, oh no, because he didn't realize that, because everyone was just like, yeah, this is cool that she comes in and like gets really touchy with people. It's not. She's a menace. Everyone in the neighborhood hates her. Somebody went out, not me, and bought a pile of stickers that said leash your damn dog with a picture of her on it and stuck them on every lamppost up and down our street. It was beautiful.
Did they get razor bladed away by someone?
Slowly but surely, yes.
Yeah.
But I hate this woman. So we are at capacity. There are 3 people in the store. You can see there's a -5, a 0, and a 0. Everyone's chill. Everyone's standing there. And then Amy opens the door. And I'm like, Amy, we're at capacity. She keeps coming in. I'm like, Amy, we're at capacity. She grabs a hot dog off the table. And I'm like, I'm about to yell, Amy! And she jumps like a cartoon character, like, and just scurries out the door with the hot dog. Just runs.
Like, and what?
And I'm like, what just happened? And the customer's like, did she just steal that? And I'm like, I think she did. And they're like, do you need us to write anything down or anything? And I'm like, yeah, I guess. I'm going to text my boss real quick. And then like 20 minutes later, I get a phone call. She's like, hey, Riley, I just want to make sure you saw I took the hot dog. And so just add that to the tab. And I was like, bro, no, I saw you take the hot dog. Yeah, but you can't just walk in, take shit when people are telling you can't be in the store. It's this shit constantly, dude. Like, so yeah, she only got a -80 because it was expected, right? It was like, I anticipate the worst shit from you, and you delivered.
I'm like flabbergasted at this, that like she got startled like a deer. And
she
like
jumped up because I don't think she expected anybody to ever yell at her.
All these, obviously this is clear to you and anyone listening, but the problem here is it is impossible to repeal this behavior. Like once they have these, once there's someone in the neighborhood is like, oh, I have a tab where I can steal hot dogs whenever I want. The act of putting that person back to baseline and explaining that like we got to use money the normal way, it's impossible.
She would like run up a $60 tab and like they just wouldn't charge her. And again, my bosses hated her. And I'm like, well, you could stop doing the tab thing. And they'd be like, well, we can't quite do that. And I'm like, why can't you do that?
The unspoken thing is that whatever it costs us is not worth the resulting explosion. Is that it? Yeah.
I think so. And so like,
so that's a hostage situation. So we're clear.
My beef and hers went on like this for the entire like 4 years I worked there. There was a time around year 2 where she came in and was like, Riley, I want to bury the hatchet. And I was like, I don't. And she was like, what? I was like, I don't want to. I'm fine with this negativity between us. I do not want a friendship with you. And she like called my manager, and my boss is like, yeah, I'm not going to tell him he has to like you. Like, if you want to be in the store, you have to recognize that he doesn't like you.
Well, I'm glad you didn't get like forced to hang out.
No, like that's the thing. I'll talk a lot of shit about my bosses. My manager, mwah, good dude, looked out for me. And now, the weirdest part about like having this nightmare scenario hellscape is like I have just transitioned to a job where I don't think my current boss knows that being a bad boss is an option. Because I asked for time off to go camping, and she was like, oh yeah, sure, boop boop boop. And I was like, okay, all right. And she's like, yeah, I'm sorry, the system's so convoluted to figure out how to, ask for time off. I'm like, no, you just gave me time off. That's great. I'm used to coming in, asking for time off, and they go, no. And I go, thank you, sir. And I walk away. She's like, oh my God, that's terrible. And I'm like, have you never worked another job?
Lady, do you not know you're my enemy?
Do you not know how this is supposed to go?
Like, I have nothing against you, but I understand that you exist to stop my enjoyment.
It's fucking wild, man. It's fucking wild. I get so fucking heated when thinking about customers. I hate them. I hate customers so much.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is the stupid trope of the customer is always right. It sort of fuels that weird loitering and this belief that like you should be able to demand a tab at any location. It's just weird shit.
Yeah, and like oftentimes you get the shit where someone's like, well, I'll just go to Kreiser's, which is like another dog store in the area. And I'm like, okay. And then they come back the next day and I'm like, oh, how was Kreiser's? Like, didn't like that extra 10-minute walk, did you, buddy? Like,
yeah,
fucking back.
Also, whenever The funny thing about I'll take my business elsewhere is that, like, yes, that is like one of the few ways we have agency in the capitalistic hellscape, but it's very funny when you're doing it over a $20 dog thing. Like, it's not going to put a company in the black.
Yeah. Oh shit, you're going to go spend $3 more to go get your dog food somewhere else? That's fine. Nothing we have is going to make or break us. So like your singular business is chill. You can vomit, you can go.
Yeah, and on the plus side, you're not here.
Yeah. And then they always come back because these motherfuckers love convenience so much that they just like, it's like each day they have a hard reset and they forget the shit that happened before. There's a lady that came in. Oh my God. And I was like, it's July last year. And they're like, oh, this riot stuff's really scary. I'm like, it's not really, because we live super far away from the Gold Coast. And also, we're not a kind of store that would be targeted because we aren't a big box store taking advantage of people. We are a small mom and pop store. They're like, well, my they're like, well, my brother's a cop, and so he's out there. I'm like, well, that sucks for your brother to be a cop. But like, I don't care. Like, that you need to look at like what the problems are here.
Yeah, and also your brothers I did my risk analysis of where I'm at, and you've introduced your brother. It doesn't change my math.
She said to me, well, I know what it's like to be to have prejudice wagered against me. I'm Irish Catholic. And I was like, ma'am,
I'm so happy right now.
You need to leave the store. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you need to leave the store. I can't have this conversation with you. And she's like, well, I don't have to leave. I'm like, I can call my boss right now. He will tell me I have the power to tell you need to walk away. And you need to walk away right now. And so she did. And she was gone for 3 months. And then she started coming back, but with her scarf like pulled up and like glasses on. Like,
that way you can't tell she's Irish Catholic.
Yeah, that way I can't tell nothing, because I think she got out of the store and was like, oh, did I say something stupid? And instead of ever apologizing, she just like came in like Raphael the Ninja Turtle trying to hide. And just everybody was like, I like your hair. I'm like, thanks. Like, that's $20. Like, I still know who you are. Like, I didn't forget.
I have two. I want to keep going on this because it's so good. I have two things to respond to her Irish Catholic thing. One, during that time when there was the riot concerns, and there were a bunch of storefronts putting up signs that were like, minority-owned business, blah blah blah, because of like, hey, like, we're cool, Black Lives Matter. You know this because you worked down a street where there's tons of storefronts, so you saw this.
Yeah.
The funniest fucking one on the planet is most of these were handwritten notes, or like they put effort into them. Like the Mexican restaurants by me like used that paint you put on your windows for like effect, like Black Lives Matter, all that stuff. They put in the effort, like all that stuff. Like an effort was done to communicate this.
Yes.
H&R Block printed out a single piece of paper in 8-point font that said Black Lives Matter that wasn't centered, and it's the funniest fucking thing that's ever happened.
I did it.
Yeah. It was so fucking good. I felt ill when I saw it. I was just like, this is a beautiful artifact of American decline. Like, this is just like the most empty gesture from H&R Block of all people. It's wonderful.
The thing, another layer of fucked up shit is like, so you know how they boarded up all the windows up and down like fucking Broadway?
Yeah.
Like, the stores didn't get to a say in that. Because, like, we said no. And then in the middle of the night, our landlords came out and put up boards.
Yeah.
And we were like, no, we don't want this. And then we had to take them down, physically. Like, the landlords didn't come back out and take them down. We, the people who said, I don't want those, had to take them down ourselves.
Yeah, because they don't care whether or not the stores make any money. They're like, I need to protect my investment. And whether or not the people who are leasing to me can continue to like be a business is not important.
Yeah, it's it was the wildest shit. Because also, like, what do you think is going to happen to, like, a high-tier fashion store, a dog boutique, and a chicken restaurant next to each other? Who's going to knock us over? What the fuck are you thinking?
Yeah. I think the one thing that all the unrest and the stuff of that year sort of made me realize is that a lot of people see themselves as like, how do I put this?
They see themselves as the main character. Like, I'm somebody's fucking nemesis and they're coming for me.
Yes. It sounds like the woman that you hated talking to that was like trying to decipher the world around you was doing that, where she was like interpreting what was happening around her, but with the lens of like,
I'm in danger now.
I'm the only real person. Everyone else is a GTA NPC.
Mm-hmm. I remember having a conversation with my dad, and he's like, "Oh, people are coming into suburbs and beating up families." I'm like, "Why would that happen?" Take a second. I want you to take a second, Dad.
Yes.
I want you to think, what would be gained out of that? And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, so the reasons for like riots and shit like that, they're to get a message across when a message isn't sending. And they want you, hypothetically, a person who lives and votes in an area separate from this, to see that shit is happening somewhere, and to question and to think and to like hear people who aren't being heard. So what would they gain from coming in and just hitting you for no reason?
Yes.
Like, what do you think would happen here? And he's like, well, you're right. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm right.
Yeah.
Calm down. You're fucking fine. Like, people simply want to be heard, dude. They don't want...
Well, one, that's why the knockout game stuff was so funny, because it was it was like the what if the gang decides I have to randomly hit me? It was like a thing that you could never stop thinking about. The other thing that happened, this was many years ago. It was on Facebook. You know how there's the same fucking list where it's like, these are the nicest towns in your state. And look, it happens in Illinois, and there's a bunch of rich suburbs around Chicago, and it's the same list every time, no big surprise. On this article on Facebook, there was someone who was commenting that like it should be taken down because like now we're a target. And this mindset like is very pervasive. This idea that like anything like nice will be destroyed by someone who doesn't deserve it or something. And it's
them taking their mindset and applying it to what they think other people must think. Because they look at something and go, well, I want to be the nicest, so I will destroy what isn't the nicest. And they look at like, I will step on shit and like hurt people to get the thing that I want. So surely the thing that other people want is to hurt me so they can get one up on me. And it's like, that's not the fucking case. Like, it's just people just want to like not to have health insurance and not to fight for a fucking meal, dude, and not to get fucking shot. Like, it ain't hard.
Yeah, I mean, it also sucks that the people who make all the decisions forever in every aspect of our lives spend their lives getting one up over people. So of course that's how they see everything, and that's the way the world is organized.
Yep.
But now, you work at a bank and you have no guilt, right?
Yeah, I have no guilt at all ever. Though, dude, like, it's so weird to like have a have coworkers again, and B, have a coworker that like is like ostensibly a normal human, but then will say like the wildest shit about like the time that they worked in collections, and I'm like, that sounds like it sucked, and they're like, oh yeah, well just pay your bills, right? I'm like, you're a child. You don't get that. Sometimes you just can't. Like, sometimes you have other shit you need to worry about.
Yeah. That's something I've always sort of struggled with in co-working situations, where you don't necessarily have to work super closely with it, but like someone will put something out there that basically says, I believe the big lie. And look, it's not your job to be anyone who goes around life like looking for opportunities to confront people in this position are assholes, right? Like, you can't like go around like, I'm going to convert everyone by telling them their worldview is wrong all the time. I'm not saying that, but it does suck that you do have to just float this around, right? Like, there's a person I like. They think Santa's real. That sucks.
It is the way that I have found the best to do it is just do a light deflection and keep moving. Because like deflecting lets them know like, well, wait a second, they didn't agree with me. So like when they say shit like, well, only the bad guys break laws, and I'm like, that's not true. Like, you think the only reason to break a law is like because you're bad? How does that make sense?
The bad guy, good guy dichotomy.
This is the thing that they said to me, dude. They said bad guy, and I'm like, you're 21. You are a child. Like, you don't like.
Yeah. Are you worried about a guy dressed like the Hamburglar? This sucks.
We have different fucking worries, man. But you have to just like put up a wall to let them know like, I don't agree, and like not go into it, because then they're going to be like, well, why didn't that fucker agree with me? What happened there? And they're just gonna like, that's gonna cook with them a second, which is just the best you can hope to do, because I don't want to be the person to tell you that Santa isn't real.
This was a question asked not to me by a coworker, but my very good friend M, who was a guest on Sickos, and this was a question that was asked to them during a shift at Starbucks, and it has stayed with me forever, because I think it's like the scariest question a coworker could possibly ask you, because of like you're trying to discern what their intent is, and it was this question: how do you feel about 9/11?
What do you want as a response to that? How do you feel about 9/11? I was a first grader, so I went to my cousin's birthday party later that day, and it was weird. Next question. Like,
M, I believe, said I'm not for it. Riley, you're a wife guy. You have a wife.
I am. I described myself as a wife guy to my coworkers the other day.
That's cool. It's good to be a wife guy. My follow-up question is, do you have a gaming wife?
Absolutely not. My wife is the smartest person in the world because she isn't online. She is not online. She does not game. She simply does like this the best thing possible at all times, and that's just like watch Columbo. It's incredible. I love it so much. Watch Columbo, go on bike rides, like living the dream. It's fucking beautiful.
That pure mind, like unburdened with content, I guess. The way to be.
It's great because like she said to me like, I don't have to be online because you just curate shit that you will show me, and then I see it, and then I'm done. like I just like go through my likes and go like, here are funny things, and then we're done. Like, that's it. She often has helped me get better like reads on how to interact with the internet, where like somebody will message me something and I'll be like, I need to respond to this right away, and she's like, no, you don't need to respond right away. Just because it's at your phone immediately doesn't mean you have to respond right away. Put that down. You're fine. Respond to them in an hour. I'm like, okay, you're right. Okay.
Isn't it great to have a partner who can point out something so basic, and you're like, I guess I could not punish myself like this every day. Winnie, Winnie started out not as a gamer, but unfortunately by proximity, I have corrupted, which sucks.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, I got her Animal Crossing, and that was kind of the start of it. Obviously, a lot of people got Animal Crossing right before lockdown, or what counted as lockdown, happened. And it turned her into a gamer. But like a cozy gamer, the kind that like only wants games where you make a cute house.
See, we also got Animal Crossing. Mandy got really into it, made a beautiful island, and then was like, I'm done. And then put it down. Like, it's just like, I'm done, I'm good. And walked away. It was a time where she opened that Animal Crossing door for the last time. And that was it. She could just stop doing things. It's incredible. I'm so jealous.
So you're telling me she stopped, but then she also didn't
look for anything else?
Like another game. Like she was just done.
Because I was like, oh, do you want to look at Stardew's Valley? And she's like, do chores? Absolutely not. I was like, oh, like Harvest Moon. Like that's like another game where you design a house. You can like have your house. You have a farm. But she's like, no. I don't. Am I getting paid to do work? I don't want to do it then. Like, It's fucking incredible. I am so jealous of just the ability to say, nah, I'm good. It's fucking great, dude.
I feel that way towards Winnie a lot. Not so much like on the gaming front and just choosing not to game. I'm just amazed whenever she's like, I'm going to do something, and then she does it, and it doesn't like ruin her mentally. It's wild. It's like she has superpowers.
The other day, Mandy was telling me about her boss was trying to figure out the path that she wants to take. She's like, oh, what makes you passionate about where you work? And she told this person, I don't come to work to be passionate. I come to work to just get the job done. And I'm like, that you've even
Correct.
separated from that. It's beautiful. I love it so fucking much.
Your wife walks the golden path, it sounds.
She truly, truly does. She is free from sin and problem. It is incredible. I want this for myself so bad, but also I know I'm not strong enough to put down my disgusting monster tweet deck with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 24 tabs on it.
So that's a lot of posting. That's like content management. You have a lot of projects.
Yeah.
Why do you do this? Does your wife support this behavior?
No.
Okay.
No, absolutely not. And like part of that is like helping me like do less projects or do projects that ask less of me. Like, never believe it, a show I'm going to record after this doesn't ask a lot of me. I show up, we ostensibly talk about Naruto, and now we just draw. The podcast minds, I show up on Wednesday night and we just shoot the shit for an hour and then we do a podcast for 45 minutes. I don't do as many like high tier, like high focus shit anymore. And it's just so helpful.
And she helped guide that a little bit of recognizing where your time sinks are and what's draining you.
And she also helped me stop moderating Discords like at a large scale, which is
the
like,
fact you ever would want to do that, though, I think it speaks to a soul sickness.
There was a time I moderated a Discord, and it drove a younger audience. I think it was a Polygon fan Discord. It was at a different time in my life, and there were people that would question everything you did, every decision you made. Why do we have this bot that tells us that Matt is actually like slightly ableist and provides us with alternatives? I want to say insane and shit. And I'm like, okay, like, don't though. Like, you don't have to. Like, you can just switch out the way you say shit if you want to. Like, it's not like a downgrade or anything. It's just simply letting you know that some things come from a ableist background. And you can change them if you want to, and you don't have to if you don't want to. And people lost their fucking minds. And there was a time when, like, I was having, like, the 87th discussion about this in the mod suggestion channel. And I was just like, you know what? And I copied myself an invite link, and I left the server. And I came back into the server, and so all my roles were gone. And I no longer was a moderator. And I was like, I resign as a moderator. You're all fucking stupid. Like, shut the fuck up. And I got to have a fuck you, I'm out moment. And it was the most blissful I've ever felt, because it just stopped it. People stopped being assholes because they're like, I drove a person to yell at me. You're not supposed to yell at me.
I feel like the issue with all community moderation is that the game is just stopping entropy that causes that what you just described. Like, and like, I don't know. It seems like it will happen. I know that's pessimistic, but I feel like it is a sort of doomed task.
Yeah, the act of looking at of having a community is that community will grow, and eventually it will grow too much, and then you must decide how to make it both welcoming to new people and how to like keep the people who've been there from going, wow, the energy here has changed. And that's an impossible task, especially when it is an unpaid position that you receive no training for. And if you Google how to moderate a community, you will see articles like, avoid flame wars in your chat. And I'm like, all right, so this isn't helpful. Like, this is nothing. Like, just say no politics and move on. And I'm like, that is not what like actual people do, and that is not helpful for like a modern environment.
And my understanding is your wife was the one who was like, you can just watch Columbo instead.
She was like, this seems like it's stressing you out, and I'm like, yeah, it really is, but someone has to do it. And she's like, why? I was like, but because the role's going to exist, and if I'm not there, who's gonna do it? And she's like, somebody else. It doesn't fucking, you can just simply not do shit.
Does your wife find it difficult to walk with such a massive brain?
Right? That's what I say every fucking day. He's just the smartest fucking person alive.
Never been horny. Never been horny. Don't tell the paper that I ever got horny.
So that was 3 pillars, right? How'd we do? We got gaming with city builders.
Mm-hmm. We got posting. We got Cog Talk. We didn't talk about anime, really.
No. Which, like, it's not like it's in the fucking title, so it's fine. First of all, thank you for co-piloting this with me. This was fun to do. Tom obviously is my boy, but it was fun to kind of have a different energy.
Yeah, this has been a fucking pleasure. It has been a blast to be here. I think we joked about how this would be Sickos with no executive function in the room.
Yeah.
And it's just nice. It is nice to just chill. It is like, this episode to me has the feeling of like just sitting on like a rooftop and drinking.
Yeah.
Which like I just got nostalgic for.
Yeah. I don't miss alcohol and like bars, but if it's like outside, it's fine. It's pretty good.
Yeah, just like being outside on a roof at nighttime.
Yeah. So we also want to just plug, like, where is Tom? Where we did a wife swap. So where did he get swapped to? Would you be so kind as to tell our listeners like where you could see him shimmy and shake?
If you're wondering where old Tommy Boy is, then you should go check out the Podcast Minds. There but for the grace of Pod Go We. That is a podcast that me and Andrew Sherman, previous guest of the show, do. We take podcast suggestions and titles, and we talk about them. We're trying to figure out what a good podcast to do would be. So we're just fielding a lot of ideas. It is you remember Cool Games Inc? What if one of those people wasn't a sex pest? That's kind of the vibe we're going for.
That's good.
It fucking rules.
Tom has since recorded, right? It's happened?
Yes.
So what's the vibe over there? How'd it go? Do we know? I haven't listened yet. Is it out?
It's not out yet. I assumed these were going to release in the same week, so I don't know if it went well, but Andrew and Tom both said they released they have a banger of an episode, so I assume it went well. But I honest to God, can't be fucking sure.
I'm sure it is. Both have incredible insights, good brains, thoughtful. They're also both good at making bulleted lists.
Yep. So you're going to hear the most structured episode of the Podcast Minds. They probably looked at tweets beforehand. They probably came with ideas, whereas I just like...
We did a brain dump. I want to be clear that, like, although what the prep that we did may not be... look, we're not ready for NPR. I get that. But compared to, like, what I would do 3 years ago, this is fucking insane.
It's so funny that we never put like our name or shit by the things we typed in our doc here. So it's just like, it is just nothing differentiating.
Yeah, but we also know it's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know I didn't type that. I didn't talk about gamers buy, sell, repeat. That's a shame. That one's keeping a little secret. I just saw the bottom of our doc. I forgot I added that.
We have a forever token for later. We can use that as if there's another swap episode or whenever need a banger story.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But if you can find Tom and Andrew over there. If you also want to look for other shows that I'm on, you can find Never Believe It, a Naruto D-Watch podcast. The first season, we watched only the filler of Naruto and tried to, eke that out for the plot. The second season, we watched a lot of the movie Holes, but still said it was Naruto. And now we are, this third season, it's like audio drawfee. We're just drawing, and we're drawing a comic one page at a time, and also talking while we do it. It's not good content, but it's stuff that we're doing, and it's perfect. It is just the ideal of I did a thing and put it out there. It's beautiful. We're watching Columbo too. You can learn about the adventures of Cowabunga Maru, Coco, and Kosif Columbo. It's fucking beautiful. And then Champs in the Making, a Pokemon bracket podcast where you take all 901 Pokemon, put them in a bracket, and put them up against each other. Both the Sickos have been on it.
There's a lot of clunkers for Pokemon.
There's a lot of clunkers.
It's nice to get the opportunity to sort of like trim the fat.
Clean it up. We're in the second round officially now. And did you hear what Pokemon gets to come back from round 1?
That was eliminated? No, what?
Yeah, we did a big stream, and one of the things was if you donate $895, $8.95, you got to put in a vote for a Pokemon that lost in round 1 to come back. Now, Pokemon that lost in round 1, Mewtwo, Charizard, Grookey, fucking so many bangers. Jolteon didn't make it. The only Evolution did not make it to round 2. But you know who came back? You know who's gracing us with his presence again? Monsieur Mime. Mr. Mime is back.
I hope you have fun sending him to hell again.
I will not. I only fought so hard to kill him because he was against Emolga, my favorite Pokemon. But now he's against someone else. Mr. Mime is now up against some like just baby shit fucker. It's gonna be versus Zorua, who I don't know.
Is that an electric thing? I hate it.
It's just like a dog. It's just like a little dog.
Mr. Mime should have a knife.
Mr. Mime with a fucking knife. Absolutely.
Imagine. Look, let's end with a visual image just for a moment. You want to see a Pokemon battle, so you go to an underground fighting arena to watch extensively, like, what? Fancy cockfighting with powers. You pay to get in. It's a sweaty underground arena. There's blood in the sand, which is what covers the pit. The doors on each side of the arena open. One side is a, like, sort of fox, wolf thing. The other is a guy.
It's just a dude. He cracks his knuckles.
It's just a dude.
He's just gonna beat the shit out of this animal.
Yeah. And that's fine.
Those are my podcasts. Also, twitter.com/Rev Rye Bread, Rev like Reverend, Rye Bread like Rye Bread, and my mother can go to hell.com.
So as we've said on a previous episode, we have stickers. The thing is about merch is that I hate hawking it. I do. So, Riley.
Get out of my fucking way. Let me hold these up. You listener, I know what you're thinking. I want stickers. I want to purchase something from these wonderful Sickos. And I see your grubby little sweaty hands reaching to the sky, and they have delivered onto you just the best shit I've ever seen. I'm looking at a sticker right now that says, "Workers of the world, this shit sucks, dude." And I am laughing very hard. It's good. There is a "Don't talk to me until I've had my labor stolen." These are all ones I'm gonna buy. Yet snucked in the Supreme font. Give me the slop.
And snucked in the Dark Souls font. And also, this was an Orange Grove's collaboration with some of these.
Oh, fuck yes. Because again, geniuses listen to this podcast, and geniuses will purchase these stickers. You've got fucked around, found out on a tombstone.
Yeah, this seemed like a good starting point. Just some dumb shit you can put on your laptop or whatever. Put it on your work computer so people don't talk to you.
To just put the one that says the machine will have blood on your work computer, or just you can buy it, scan it, and then put it as your fucking Zoom background or whatever the fuck.
Oh yeah, it's your Slack icon.
Exactly. Just like let people know that you want to die.
Hey folks, it's Tom. I know I wasn't supposed to be in this episode, and I wasn't gonna insert myself in, but these motherfuckers can't complete basic tasks that I asked them to do in very clear terms. For example, you know that bit that just now where they hawked the Sickos, the merch store? Yeah, they had to go back and record that later, and then I had to edit it in to make it sound like they remembered to do it. Also, you may have noticed they did not say the fucking URL to go get the stickers. It is animesickos.com/store. That is animesickos.com/store. You can also just go to animesickos.com and there's a store link on the header. But you can also go to animesickos.com/store to get those sticker packs. There's 2 packs of stickers for sale, 7 stickers in each. They also did not mention the t-shirt that's on pre-order that we got a original KC Green illustration for that has an obedient muddy piggy on the front. It is very good. It's in pink. It's a great shirt. It's printed on like an actual good t-shirt that will feel pleasant to wear and not an awful stiff piece of shit like most custom t-shirts. It's important to mention that because the pre-order determines how many of these we fucking print. So you really have to know that this t-shirt is on pre-order, and if you want one, you should go get it now and put your size in, because otherwise we don't know how many to get. So you got to go to animesickos.com/store and get this shirt. And I thought they would do it. They didn't do it. But what can you do? Anyway, that's me. Bye-bye.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It's been a fucking pleasure, as always.
Hell yeah. I am Joe, an anime sicko, and I'm, of course, joined by...
Riley, an anime sicko.
That's right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good one. Take it easy.
Thank you for listening to Anime Sickos. I've been Tom, a sicko. You can follow me on Twitter at TomHarrison19. Joe is also a sicko. You can follow him on Twitter at ShariaUncle. You can follow Anime Sickos on Twitter at Anime Sickos, or email us at animesickos@gmail.com. Please leave us a review or something. I don't know. Tell a friend. Anyway, until next time, bye.